What's up? Not the mic, not the mic, not the mic, sir.
I've been sleepwalking.
A lot.
Will, stop looking in the wrong corner for an answer to this.
What?
Well, not feeling like yourself, that's kind of what you do, isn't it?
Jack.
I have feelings for you, Will. It would be reckless.
Is that what's happening? Have I broken you?
Yes. What's up, people? What an episode we had. Episode 9. Seeing Hannibal come face to face with someone who almost matched him in intellect, conniness, freaking physique is crazy. Seeing Hannibal that vulnerable, for lack of a better term, was pretty interesting. And the way Tobias talked about how he followed Hannibal, you could tell how that pissed Hannibal off. It's almost like he got sloppy. In a sense, I think Tobias was good, because I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's like Tobias came to sharpen Hannibal to maybe remind him that he needs to fight for his rights to be on the top of the food chain. Crazy episode. A takeaway from that episode was Jack looked like he wasn't buying it at all. Yeah, from the comments and rewatching the episode again, just this idea that Will was essentially put to trial to see if he's worthy enough to be Hannibal's friend is crazy. And there's also some different representation of that whole scenario that I read in the comments that I really enjoyed as well. But let's get into episode 9 and let's see the aftermath of all that craziness. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Let's get into it.
I can make myself look, but the thinking is shutting down.
I can help you. We can hide the body.
Abigail. Nice coat. Where's Abigail? I want to see her again.
Yeah, but where are the corners? My mom always said.
7 graves, way too many heads.
Okay.
The others are years, even decades old.
Decades?
These graves weren't desecrated, Jack. They were exposed.
Huh?
Okay, everybody, let's go. Let's clear the scene.
I mean, it's at this point where maybe the mushroom episode was the nastiest thing you think you could find in this show. And this one is hold my beer. Let me create a whole freaking pole of bodies. And it's almost like the nastiness keeps progressing. I don't even know what we're about to see in season 2. They made freaking a string instrument out of someone's vocal cords. So it's yeah, we got to take it up a notch this episode, I guess. It's kind of like a video game. When you defeat a boss, the next boss is usually stronger and stronger. It's this is freaky. What are you even gonna see this time, Will? Look at Jack crossing his arms, spectating. This person must be an artist or something.
I planned this moment, this monument, with precision. Collected all my raw materials in advance.
The bones.
I want him to know my design.
Christ. Oh, Will. Why? For what purpose? Some of them are skeletons. They've been there for decades. For at least a decade. It almost looks like a scarecrow or something. Totem pole.
This is my resume. This is my body of work.
Did you sleepwalk? He don't even know how he got back here.
Wasn't asleep.
Grafton, West Virginia is 3.5 hours from here.
Wow.
You have an empathy disorder. What you feel is overwhelming you.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, yeah.
What about your life?
At what cost, right? This is interesting because isn't this what Hannibal wants? Isn't this what he wants for like Will to get deeper and deeper? Or is that being overtaken by his other side of him that cares for Will and wants to be Will's friend, especially after Will passed his test? You know what I'm saying?
I'm your friend, Will. I don't care about the life you save. I care about your life.
I've been sleepwalking.
A lot.
Maybe I should get a brain scan.
Will, stop looking in the wrong corner for an answer to this.
What?
You were at the crime scene when you disassociated. Tell me about it.
It was a totem pole of bodies.
Totem pole.
The killer's Jack Crawford has your mind wrapped around that. You lose yourself to them. I don't want you to wake up and see a totem of your own making.
I feel like this is Hannibal being genuine right here. But again, when did that change happen? Did that change happen after last episode? Because yes, Hannibal has always cared for Will. Because he gives everybody good advice, healing advice. But he also has this side of him that kind of bends people to his own, you know, kind of like how he has all of them in a sandbox, you know, playing his games. But I think this last conversation seems very different because it seems like very opposite from how it usually is. Let me know your spoiler-free thoughts, of course, on that. Because everything he's saying about Will is true right here. Like, you're getting too close, this and that. I'm like, how come you care so much about Will's mentals and well-being now? You know? But that's where I'm at with it for now. I'm gonna leave it there for now.
Every day I wake up and I hear my dad's voice
Hobbs.
again and again.
That's not true. Oh, that's...
That he wanted to kill.
He should have. He should have killed you.
Oh. This is messed up.
He should have killed you.
Is that... Abigail, you are not okay, baby. You are not okay. Oh, Jack.
Well, not feeling like yourself, that's kind of what you do, isn't it?
Jack.
So I seem fine to you?
Is there something you want to tell me?
He don't care.
If there's a problem, you need to tell me.
What are you gonna do about it?
Is there a problem, Will?
Because the last time he told you there was a problem, you darn near shamed him into not quitting. You darn near called him a bitch for wanting to quit and guilt tripped him. So it's almost like in Jack's mind, he kind of does the bare minimum and say, hey, at least I asked if he was okay and he said he was. But of course, you know he's not okay. You didn't even add a, are you sure? Or, you know.
Every penny. What you have here is all you have.
How about my dad?
Plenty. But I am the one to help you tell it. No one knows more about what your father did than I do.
Opportunist.
Oh, feeling like your father makes him feel like a killer. Everyone will know the truth.
God.
Okay.
I do not trust her for a second. Wrong company, Abigail. Keeping the wrong company. Boy, you should...
He was special to him somehow.
Oh, the top.
From all across West Virginia. No crimes attributed to any of them.
Wow. Interesting. Grave robbery too? Like...
Made to look like something else.
Interesting.
Simple fact
that these people die. A ghost. That is what excited him.
Wow.
Why is he coming out into the light?
I don't want to interrupt if you're rehearsing or...
Will,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
there was nobody in the class?
Oh, that's me all over.
Girl, take his hand and fly him to Puerto Rico or somewhere. Like, yo, go stay on the beach for like 2 months. Like, this man was teaching a full class alone. Yeah, I think it's coming. After this is episode 9, will probably break in this episode or the next. Don't confirm or deny that, but like, maybe because it's episode 10, they'll make episode 10 like first double-digit episode, like a grand thing. But like, this man disappears for 3 hours in his mind, wakes up in front of Hannibal's office, drove himself there. That's why when I was in college and I'll hear friends say they blacked out from this time to this time, it's like the most horrendous thing I've ever heard. Like, I don't drink at all. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm like, God, I can't even imagine not being aware of what I did and said for like a couple of hours. Like, at this point, Will is he's just one more thing needs to happen to just break the camel's back, as they say. Alana, just take him away, please.
Promise I won't try to kiss you again.
A doctor who treats herself as a fool for a patient.
Mm.
I'm crisscrossing the state line. Got one foot firmly planted on both sides.
Interesting.
I don't want to mislead you, but I don't want to lie to you either.
That's fair.
I have feelings for you, Will.
Mm.
It would be reckless.
Mm.
It's because I think you're unstable.
She's not gonna lie.
And until that changes, I can only be your friend.
The honesty, man.
Do you feel unstable?
Yes. 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 Don't lie. Give him a hug, please. Come on. Take Will away, please. Take Will away. Take Will away.
Now, that won't last. Things change.
Just because you killed my dad doesn't mean you get to be him.
No one more traumatized than you, Abigail, but we went through it together.
Mm.
And you don't need our approval, but I hope it would mean something.
Mm.
You have nothing to apologize for.
Mm.
You won't control what comes through.
I like this because someone gotta say the risk about Freddie Lounds. I was also gonna say, to be fair, someone has to tell her the risk about Hannibal too, but she kind of already knows that. She kind of already knows what she's cooking with, so nothing to say there. I know I went past that scene, but that scene with Alana and Will, I think really touched my heart. Like, just seeing the pain in his eyes when she gave him a hug. I'm like, I wish I could give him a hug too, like, cause I feel he recognized how much Alana cares for him, and her being that upfront and honest and being like, you, my friend, are unstable. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna be like Jack. I'm not gonna be like Hannibal. Well, until recently, when Hannibal is being more straightforward. It's like, you are unstable. And like, even coming from a relationship perspective, that's such a powerful thing to say when it's honest and true. When you're like, you're unstable, and until that change, nothing can happen between us. It's so honest, it's so powerful, and you can only hope the person hearing that is open to receive that criticism or that's like olive branch to work on themselves. you know.
The lowest body on the pole will be our killer's beginning, his first. So our guy got away with it 40 years ago.
Wow.
Will, need you in my office.
Uh-oh. Something else? Uh-oh.
The night that he disappeared.
How did he die?
Hannibal, you were sloppy.
I'm curious about why.
You can't think that she has something to...
Jack.
Nominated between her father, Marissa Shore, and Nicholas Boyle. They all...
That's fair. That's fair.
Jack has the look of a man with no interest in any opinion but his own.
Alana.
I mean, if we're being fair all over the board, Jack is up to something. Not up to, onto something. Because yes, Abigail did kill him in self-defense. However, be that as it may, you know, Mr. Smooth Operator over here came in with that sweet manipulative talk about putting his career on the line to help her. But yes, if y'all are keeping count, this is 3 episodes in a row where Hannibal's incompetence or Hannibal's grip on all the situation has been tested. 3 episodes in a row. 3 episodes in a row at this. 4. Actually, 4 episodes in a row. Everything with Will, everything with Tobias, everything with Franklin, him being sloppy, being followed with Tobias, him getting his ass whooped by Tobias, and now everything with not disposing of the body correctly. It's like, dog, you're slacking heavy, and I can't wait to see where this is leading.
Perhaps she's stronger than we think.
Oh, brother. Look at Jack with a smirk on his face.
That's him.
Good.
Cover it up already.
Could you cover him up?
I just need you to answer the...
That's what I'm saying. Cover that shit up.
I haven't seen him since he attacked me.
And let's be clear. Let me just be clear. I'm aware. So, boy. I'm aware that she's guilty for killing him under self-defense. And this is the one time where Jack pressing on something is actually, he's actually on it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we can't forget Jack's tendency to be too harsh or be too hard on a situation and not be very graceful about it. That's one side of it. And on the other side of it, I still see her as a victim in a lot of ways. Because yes, it was self-defense. From what I saw and how I read that scene, he was coming onto her, pinned her to the wall, she stabbed him. Hannibal came and made it seem like she butchered him. It's like, nah, it was one stab wound, my guy. Like, so her being put in this situation, I feel like she's a victim that's been manipulated. Not taking all the blame off her. It's weird. There's a lot of nuances in there. So like, that's why if I'm reading this scene and my reaction to it is like, Jack, back off. That's why all the things I just talked about and mentioned. It's like, dude, cover the body. A picture would have sufficed, you know, but you have her seeing the body and still asking her a question. I feel it's given very like intimidation, and I don't like it too much. While acknowledging that, yes, she did stab that man and she's hiding a secret with Hannibal. I acknowledge that.
This man, Nicholas Boyle, was gutted with a hunting knife. You're here by invitation, by courtesy, Dr. Bloom. Please don't interrupt me again.
Wow.
Where do you go when you escape from the hospital, Abigail? Did the two of you know each other before the night he attacked you? Did he know your father?
No.
Man.
I was gonna die in that house after all.
But
But I didn't. I survived.
She's good.
Saved my life. They saved me from him.
She is good.
And you haven't seen him since?
Only in my nightmares.
Well, she's technically not lying. She's just being tactical in how she answers the questions. Jack has already made up his mind.
I'll be just a moment, Abigail.
Or she gonna give him an earful.
He has no reason to lie about any of this.
That just shows how smooth Hannibal is with this. That he got one of the purest souls in this show advocating for him like this. You feel me? Jack Crawford, man.
I know it can never come back.
Nick Boyle wasn't a monster.
I was.
I sometimes feel like one.
Is that why you uncovered his body?
Hello?
Answer them, I passed.
With Jack Crawford's attention.
Hold on. She uncovered the body? Am I hearing this correctly? I turned off my subtitles just because it was messed up. The subtitles was coming late or early.
I'm not afraid of them finding Nicholas Boyle anymore. He's been found.
Oh.
You jeopardized my life as well as your own. I deserve more than that. What if I can't?
Then you go. Interesting. So she uncovered the body just so that fear and anxiety of them eventually finding it, she can get rid of that. Girl, you had a good teacher. Most deaf.
We did a DNA comparison between Fletcher Marshall and Joel Summers.
Crime of passion. It had something that none of the other murders had.
Oh?
It's open. Come in.
Is that him?
So you were expecting us.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that, Mr. Wells?
Because I let you.
Oh.
I don't have the fight in me anymore.
Wow.
Because he was never meant to be.
What does that mean?
All those people around you knowing that you made it happen.
Wow.
Beautiful about knowing that you'll spend the rest of your life in prison.
He don't care.
Next to the kind of retirement home I can afford.
Wow.
I'm securing my legacy.
This man is sick.
What's in your heart?
You didn't secure your legacy, Mr. Wells.
You murdered it.
In fact, your one act as a father was to destroy your son.
Jesus. How's that? What's he doing? Oh. That is sick. That whole thing was sick. He said prison will be better than any retirement home that I could ever afford. And something he said, I will be remembered there. I'll be valued there. I think it goes back to something I said a few episodes ago about people like Franklin who are obsessed with psychopath and people who are obsessed with like murderers and people who write them fan mail in prison and whatnot. So like this was gonna be legacy.
I'm worried about nightmares.
Oh, Will. What are you doing, cuz? Oh. Is he gonna... He's gonna see Abigail. I thought that's what he was doing. Will. And again, this goes to the conversation that we had, I think episode 2 or 3, where I talked about how like, is there like supernatural stuff in this universe? And I love how a lot of you explained it to me, how like it's kind of weird. Some things are kind of like superhuman, like wonder how these killers get these bodies strung up on these weird areas. Like a good example in this show is like, in this episode is like that old man, like how did he freaking have the strength to put on that totem pole by himself, work it and everything. So it's like Will in that moment, it just felt very not natural, like not real world, to just this ability that he always uses in crime scene, using it for like personal gain or personal knowledge, freaking going up to that body and finding out it was actually Abigail. Now I wonder how his relationship with Abigail changes. Does he still feel protective over her? Does he still feel that guilt? Whew, let's keep going, baby. Let's keep going. Came to your best friend.
Abigail Hobbs killed Nick Boyle.
I helped her dispose of the body.
Lord have mercy. No more secrets.
Why not?
Because I was hoping it wasn't true.
Huh. How is Hannibal feeling now?
Now you know the truth.
Do I?
He's not gonna do it.
Because Jack Crawford would hang her for what her father's done. That would be with Freddie Long's rights.
Even at this point, he's still trying to manipulate Will. He's still trying to manipulate Will, even at this point. I don't know if you guys have seen Penguin, the Matt Reeves, right? Penguin. If you haven't seen Penguin, go watch the Penguin. It's like a spin-off from the recent Batman movie. God damn it. Like, I know everybody have like fatigue from superhero shows because they've been awful, but Penguin is probably one of the best shows. I'm currently watching it right now. It's not on any superhero shit. It's just like a good ass mob story, and it's about Penguin's rise to become the mob boss that he is in Gotham. And I just thought about it because I'm watching Hannibal, the way he's so smooth at weaseling his way out of any scenario to make the chips fall in his favor. It just made me think of Penguin. If you haven't seen it and you love the latest Matt Reeves Batman movie, go watch Penguin right now on HBO. Gas is amazing. I wish I did reactions for it, but I don't think my audience is very in tune with those kind of shows. But that's the thing, it's not like a superhero show. It just have the names, but it's really like a combination of The Godfather, Sopranos. I haven't seen Sopranos, but that's what I've heard from people. And like just that combination of like the underground story of a mob boss, like their beginning. Some of it also made me think of The Goodfellas, and I recently just watched The Goodfellas on this channel. But if you haven't seen The Penguin, go watch it. But anywho, sorry for that tangent. Back to Hannibal. The way he's even manipulating Will right now is like, which is crazy because even Will, his so-called friend or prodigy, he's lying to him. And you can tell from Hannibal how Hannibal touched the knife. He considered just killing Will right here, which kind of messed up my brain because I'm like, this is your friend that passed your freaking murderous test last episode and now you're just gonna kill him? But obviously he opted into like trying to twist the story.
And whose? Who knows Abigail better than you and I?
Wow.
We are her fathers now.
Long episode, long reaction. Is going to be a long one. But every time, I know a lot of my friends over here that are watching, y'all are also fans of Interview with the Vampire. And, you know, just in order not to alienate everyone else, I've kind of held my tongue on like making comparisons between both shows. Like Lestat and Hannibal and Louis and Will and Abigail and Claudia and all that. But it's like at this point I can't I can't hold my tongue anymore. This man really said, hey, we're her fathers. Like, we need to look out for her. Like, we put her in this crazy predicament that she's in. Hannibal is riding the wave, man. He's riding the wave. And the thing that always breaks my mind is that, like, you can tell parts of him is being honest about what he's saying and he genuinely believes it. But you can also clearly tell other parts of it is like, for lack of a better term, or like just very strategic manipulation.
If you go to Jack, then you murder Abigail's future.
He's right, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Ugh, I hate this.
We can tell no one.
Damn. God.
It'll be the only story any of us cares to tell.
It's also how he comforts you through all of it too, that is like weirdly reaffirming. This show right here, I'm gonna go on another rant. Like, why are shows like these, why don't they have the spotlight? You know what I'm saying? Why don't shows like this have the spotlight? And anytime an episode like this come around, I mean, I give a similar speech when I watch season 2, episode 1 of Fleabag, and I'm like, I'm glad and I'm proud and happy at the way I have curated my channel and our community, that like at this point going forward, we're only watching peak. We're only watching peak. Like, I don't care if the show or the movie is not the most popular thing out there. We're watching peak. Because some of these shows that I've been watching are shows that, like, I probably had never heard about. Shows that will always lose any popularity poll that I put it on. Shows that people would rather watch other stuff than these shows. But then I sit down and watch, analyze, and have discussions about the show, and I'm like, why don't these shows have the highlights? But then again, I answer that question for myself in my brain and just be like, I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to preference, taste, what is acceptable by the majority at the end of the day. Because it's like, Fleabag, never heard of that show in my life. Freaking love it. Interview with the Vampire, barely made the poll that I put it on. Barely. Like, it was a last minute decision when someone recommended it. Darn near one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Ted Lasso. Wouldn't have even looked at Ted Lasso a day in my life. But someone sponsored it for the channel and I watched it. The Wire. Lose every single poll I ever put it on. So yeah, if you're part of the channel at this point, going forward, we're watching peak, you know? And I'm glad I have a Patreon and YouTube is doing all right. So like, I'm not too worried about numbers and as I used to be, because I got like the financial support more so than before. So honestly, going forward, we're only watching peak, man. I don't care if it's a show I've never heard about before. I trust all of you enough at this point that like recommendations and the polls are always going to vote. And shout out to you guys too for bringing those recommendations and kind of like getting a feel for me and knowing what I would love to like discuss and interact with. But Hannibal, man, like this show is amazing. What? Come on. Yeah, you guys are gonna hear more rants like these from me anytime I encounter absolutely great moments in all these lesser known or less popular shows that just blow my mind way more than the big shows do. I'm like, some of these shows, all they got going for them is popularity, honestly. And yeah, I'm not apologizing for pausing and taking my rants. Anybody who want to skip it can skip it, obviously. So, and this show is peak.
It contradicts a good story. Hell, publish it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're all pathological in our own ways.
Hmm.
I'm here because I want to tell Abigail's version of the truth. Been taken as guilt. This book is about her innocence.
We all want what's best for Abigail.
This is possibly the finest.
Abigail now knows that Will knows, which is insane. Because just the way they're looking at each other, Abigail also have this big expressive eyes that like, you can always like see what she's feeling or thinking, or she uses it well to like kind of conveys wrong emotions or like deceive people too. So like, so interesting.
Will knows, doesn't he?
He knows you killed Nicholas Boyle, yes? Thing in his life is tainted. And he will lie to Jack Crawford about you. And no one will know the truth you're trying to avoid. The one you cannot admit.
Which is?
I was the one who met the girls.
Abigail.
Laughed and joked.
Abigail.
Found out where they lived.
Abigail.
They could have been my friends.
What? Even with that, God, this changes everything. I'm glad she is starting to add that extra layer of like, I knew it was them or me. Because my head is melting, and maybe this is just me trying to cope, but what do you guys think? Her saying I knew it was them or me. Because now it makes it look less of a partnership and more of like a hostage situation with her dad. Like she knew he was gonna kill her if she don't offer those other girls. Not justifying anything, it's all what? But then the question comes, why didn't she call the police? Or why didn't she do this or that? Which are very valid, you know? But like I said in a video, I think I was saying it while watching The Color Purple, you know, sometimes it's hard to go against that abuser, especially when that abuser is the source of your sustenance, especially when that abuser has so much power over you, especially when you know how dangerous they are. Again, not justifying anything, just trying to elaborate how cooked my brain is right now. And I've been so like enthralled in this story that like sometimes I even forget to appreciate the acting. I know I always talk about Hannibal's acting, but Abigail, she fooled us all. Except some of you who have always like suspected her, like Jack Crawford. Oh, Jack was right. Jack was right. Well, not fully right, because the whole thing we talked about, she being a hostage of her dad as well. Like, ooh, this episode, man. Father Hannibal, self-preservation is one hell of a motivator, man.
I wondered when he would tell me.
He always knew.
I know what monsters are.
And
Will and I, we're going to protect you.
Wow. Again, every single scene is so ripe for analysis, because like if there was ever any doubt that Hannibal is the same time one of the most evil human being you ever meet, he's also so comforting and so honest in a lot of scenes that sometimes they kind of bleed into each other and you're just left wondering, does he mean it, does he not mean it? But in scenes like this, he means every freaking word he's saying. The comfort he's giving her, telling her she's not a monster, that he knows what monsters are because he knows what he is. And like the affirmation he's giving her, this show, man, this show, I know what monsters are, and Will and I are gonna protect you. It's like the same way he was giving comfort to Jack Crawford about Miriam at the fire when they were drinking. It's like at first I saw that scene as him just being ruthless, like he's the one who killed her, but then he's here comforting you, like, you know, Donya giving Jack Crawford a shoulder to cry on. But after a while and after some conversations, it's like, man, like, it's almost like you can tell he's probably genuine about that, about the care and comfort he's giving Jack Crawford, because like he never planned to kill Miriam. She just got too close. Damn. We're only going up from here. Because like after watching shows this good, watching a show that's not up to par would not feel right. At least in this kind of genre or mode of shows, because I always make space to watch lighthearted shows, because like we need it desperately. Man, I love this whole scene, like him saying like I waited. And there's also a conversation we've been having in the comments, especially on YouTube too, about this idea of like how this shows portrays psychopath and how this show portrays neurodivergent people is like not how they're appropriately portrayed in media. There's a lot of empathy here. There's a lot of nuance here, you know? It's not just black and white. Is that when the first murder happened? Wow. So this is how it goes down.
Where are you going? Home for the weekend. Oh, how about you?
Hey, man. Whoo! What an episode. Man, what an episode. And something I've always mentioned, and I won't stop mentioning, that I appreciate about this show is how we have our central characters, and every villain of the week, for lack of a better term, is written to perfectly perfectly fit into the themes and the storyline of all our characters. It's like after episode 1, I'm like, dog, we're in episode 9, and the effect of Hobbs is still very prevalent here. Come on, man. This show should be mentioned as one of the greats, man. This show should be studied, man. The acting, immaculate. Seeing Will's descent into freaking despair, immaculate. Whoever the showrunners is or the writer is that was coming up with all these nastiness that the killers do is, I guess, chef's kiss. No pun intended. What is her freaking name? The reporter? I cannot stand her. Because she's such an opportunist. And I think I owe Jack Crawford an apology. Woo! I owe Jack an apology. And something that just came to me is this idea of like, Abigail had so much practice in pretending, because she always pretended to be friendly to those girls to lure them to her father, right? So it makes sense why, like, to us, the viewers, even though we knew there was a possibility that she was in cahoots with her dad, she always knew how to, like, be the big, beautiful puppy dog eyes or the expressions or the vulnerability. Like, she always known how to, like, seem and feel innocent because she's had practice with all those other girls. You know, pretending to be their friend while knowing your dad literally wants to butcher them. Whoo! And yeah, we already talked about that extra layer of like, I'm just looking at Jack's face over here, and this man is like, yeah, I know you did that shit. Y'all can do all your psychology nonsense y'all want to do, but I know a killer when I see one. Oh Jack, I could talk about this over and over again non-stop, but man, the reveal of the killer and how Will and Jack just put in front of him that, yo, that legacy, you killed your legacy. That was your son. All that for what? Oh man, Will using his ability to find out Abigail. This was not in my bingo card. Heck, none of this was in my bingo card. These last 2 episodes have been straight peak. If you're still watching till this point, appreciate you, man. This is me just yapping at this point. The beautiful scene, the embrace. I'm like, god damn, like this man, Hannibal, man. Hannibal. And that's why I love TV shows. Like, TV shows give you so much more. You know, all this won't have that much impact in a 2-hour time frame. So we're seeing different layers of Hannibal that I'm like, I know I talked about the Penguin earlier. Seen a few scenes of the Penguin in Batman. He's just another mobster, another villain. But watching this TV show on HBO, I'm like, I love what is up with media lately, making me like love and empathize with villains so much than I've ever had. Go watch the Penguin if you can. I wish I did a reaction to the Penguin, but we already have so much going on this channel right now. But like, man, thank you for watching. Love you guys. Thanks for being part of the community. Make sure you drop your thoughts in the comments because I love to read them. I love when you guys give me your own perspective. You know what I'm saying? I love it a lot. I've done my part. I've said everything, so give me your own perspective. But thank you. I'll see you in episode 10. Much love. What's up, everybody? Last episode was heavy. Last episode was a reveal galore. All the reveals. Will realizing that Abigail actually killed the dude. Will realizing Hannibal helped her. Us realizing Abigail was the one that actually dug up the body, so that fear wouldn't loom over her anymore, hereby jeopardizing her trust with Hannibal and his whole life and his whole scheme. Oh yeah, the big one at the end, that Abigail actually helped her dad. Well, it was more of a victim kind of thing, where like she was obviously victim of her father and her fearing for her own life because the father like made her believe that it was her. And I loved one of the comments on that video about this idea of like there was a chance that Mr. Hobbs actually didn't want to kill Abigail. He just used that as a manipulation tactic to make her essentially submissive and go fish out other girls for him. I love how Laura put it, that he made her his little huntress, you know, and which is sad because similar thing is repeating with Hannibal as well. You know, there was this idea that Hannibal was using Abigail to get closer to Will. At the same time, like, maybe some people are divided on it, but in a sense, you get the feeling that Hannibal actually does care for Abigail as well as Will in his own way, or probably just in a genuine way. Honestly, he is very complex. But yeah, last episode I had to do a rewatch on that. I had to read as many comments as I can, you know, just to interact and pick you guys' brain as well. But again, when big episodes like this happen, or big reveals, I cannot wait to see how the dynamics change, because now going in, Will and Hannibal has become like father figures for her. How does everything with Will change now that he knows, or he has some confirmation of what Hannibal is capable of? How does his attitude towards Abigail change now that he knows everything he knows, or he has confirmed everything he's been kind of thinking about? Oh yeah, the way Will used his powers, I'm just calling it powers, last episode to figure out that it was Hannibal, it was Abigail. Chef's kiss on that. All right, without any much long talk, let's get into this. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it.
On Hannibal.
Abigail Hobbs killed Nick. Crawford has your mind wrapped around that, you lose yourself to them.
Is this the episode?
Do you feel unstable?
Yes.
Is there a problem, Will?
Yes.
You're safe. I care about your life. And your life is separating from reality.
Mm-hmm. Is this the episode where it happens? Oh, Will. Delaware. Saying a little prayer for Will, because this episode might be rough for him. Oh, there's a new character. Oh boy. The wolves are out. Oh, that bird seems rattled. I'm not ready for what we're gonna see this episode, honestly. Like, could be anything with this show. And it seems like she leaves alone in the middle of nowhere. Huh? The whole house is leaking? Someone did that on purpose, huh? Yeah, this show definitely knows how to set the mood. Set the horrendous mood. Snow? This don't seem like Hannibal's work. Probably another villain of the week. Girl, you got a baseball bat or a knife or something? Hello?
Like a burst balloon.
Mm.
She took a life.
Yep.
Left to the horror of her father behind so good of you.
Hmm.
A choice. We know in those moments, they're not flesh.
Hmm.
Light and air and color.
What?
I'd like you to draw a clock face.
Okay.
Small hand indicating the hour, large hand the minute.
So everything so far has been intriguing to me because it's starting to answer that question I asked at the top of the episode, like how will things change now that they all know all the things that they know? And like it's almost like Hannibal is now taking a more direct is guardian the term? A more direct guardian term without having to hide some things anymore. Talking straight about the matters. The deaths, the cover-up, the denial, like everything. Also, I don't know why I randomly thought about it, but my wife recently told me something I'd never known, that people have two different type of earlobes. Ones that are connected to your chin, jaw, and others that are like kind of like a loop that hang. And I've lived 29 years and did not know that. And now I can't unsee it. So I was just looking here at Hannibal's ear and just came to mind. I thought I should share for any one of you who have never realized that humans have two type of earlobes. Is mine hanging? No, mine is attached to my jaw. But yeah, now you know.
Often as you can, think of where you are and when.
Interesting.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Document. Wow. Wow. That's how Will's brain is right now. He can't even draw a simple clock face with everything in the right places. Yeah, this gotta be the episode his mind breaks. It just has to be. This reminds me of the Daredevil intro. The Netflix Daredevil, the good one. Yeah, what happened to this woman in that cabin house? Like that looked like a freaking horror movie monster or something, not a person. Excuse me. Okay. Fish don't do that. Jesus.
Will.
Oh. Oh God. Oh God. You they got me. Oh God. I thought it was gonna slowly elevate. And boom, like Will murdered someone. Hello? This show knows how to play with you, man. Okay, so he woke up at a crime scene and he was just at home. So he probably woke up right in the middle of using his powers to analyze a crime scene. God, I thought Will. Oof.
What happened in there?
You know what happened.
Will, you contaminated the crime scene. You've never done that before. Before. What are you saying? You thought that you killed that woman in there?
Mm-hmm.
You reconstruct the thinking of a killer.
It's more than that.
I got lost in the reconstruction.
Cause for concern, but I am officially concerned about you.
Officially.
Wow.
Being stays unofficial.
Is that what's happening? Have I broken you?
Yes.
Is better unbroken than I do broken.
Good question.
Fear makes you rude, Will.
And honest.
Fought to claw her way out.
He knew her.
God.
Prints on the knife handle. I assume they're yours. Sorry.
Wow.
Victim scratched her killer deep enough to pile tissue under the fingernails.
He was trying to pull her skin back.
Jesus.
I have the coppery smell of blood on my hands.
I just have a feeling that I feel like I should say this. I feel like I'm close to reaching my limit when it comes to the crazy stuff to watch. No need for concern, obviously, but shit is... Well, I think it's maybe because like what I just experienced through Will, like that same shock. Oh, that was brilliantly done by the showrunner and the director. I feel it's because of that like massive shock I just felt of thinking Will killed her. And the reason why I say the director was brilliant in how it was shot and edited is like the same way it shocks Will. It almost shocks us, the viewer. Even though we're calling it that something crazy is going to happen, the sudden nature at which it happens, it just got my heart like pacing back and forth. Cut her face open, kind of like the Joker, making a smile. And again, something I didn't mention in the previous scene, when Jack told, between Jack and Will, I love that all my questions from the beginning are being answered. Like, how does all the dynamic change? So we can clearly see Will's interaction with Jack changing, because him confronting Jack about like, you know, you sending me to Hannibal instead of an actual person who works for the FBI, is almost like he has this undertone in there that is different now, because like he knows what Hannibal is now and what Hannibal is capable of. So everything we've been seeing about the dangers, like he's also seeing it now. Obviously Jack knew nothing about it because Jack don't know what Hannibal is or who Hannibal is, but even the conversation between him and Jack has changed, and I love all that. I love it.
Feels more real than what I know is true.
Jesus.
Remember cutting into her. I remember watching her die.
Jeez.
It's desperate, sad.
God.
Me, as if I was just a stranger. You mean the difference between sanity and insanity? I don't accept that. Seizures? This could be a tumor?
Then you have to accept what you're struggling with. Is mental illness.
Clearly.
Dr. Lecter here is one of the sanest men I know. Another life ago, back when you weren't afraid to get your hands a little dirty. Until, of course, the projector breaks down.
Every dialogue.
slowly became aware that I might not be dreaming.
God, that must be scary. What does the doctor know? Because the looks the doctor is giving Hannibal is like maybe just concern, but it might also be, what are you doing with this boy?
Based on...
I could smell it.
Oh.
He started sleepwalking, and I noticed a very specific scent. A fevered sweetness.
Interesting.
Had to be sure. Symptoms.
I know this is random, but him describing, this is the first time we've heard him describe a smell. We know he has a very like extreme, like very good sense of smell. Now it has me wondering, all the people he eats, does he have a different smell towards them that is separate from how the food smells? That is like an extra layer of enjoyment? Let me know if you've thought about that before. Because the way he explained it as like a sweetness, it's warm, it has heat, it's like, does he also smell that from the people and have it like recorded that, oh, Dr. So and so that I had 3 years ago had this smell of freaking cinnamon and this and that. And that's like an extra layer of enjoyment when he's eating. Disgusting. Fascinating. I don't know.
It is so rare to be able to study the psychological effect of this type of malady on a person's mind. There are great discoveries to be made.
Wow. He's enticing him to look forward to what's going on with Will. Oh. Is this how I'm gonna feel when I'm watching Haunting of Hill House? God.
Right side of his brain is completely inflamed.
Holy.
It's unfortunate for Will.
He was so sure of it.
Opportunity.
We didn't find anything abnormal. No vascular malformations.
What?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with you neurologically. Mental disorders. They can only rule out medical illnesses.
You slimy.
They'll prove to be just as inconclusive.
His life, right? Man, shit like this makes me mad. Shit like this made me mad. I'm feeling so much dread in this episode. I'm feeling so much dread. And I feel like this is why I hope it makes sense why I always flip-flop on Hannibal. Like, is he being genuine? Is he not? Is he just forwarding his own agenda? It's like, Will is clearly unwell. Because I too thought it was just like psychological, but like half of his brain is darn near gone. And Hannibal is like, isn't he the one that's supposed to like care for Will? Well, Dr. Bloom is really the only one that cares for Will. And from my from my interview with the vampire fans in the chat right now, I'm feeling the exact same feeling that I felt when, skip if you don't want spoilers. I'm feeling the exact same feeling that I felt when we started getting the reveal that like Armand and everybody like planned, rehearsed everything that happened at the trial. And like I feel myself almost getting choked up thinking about it. Like just that reveal that like someone we care about is suffering and going through like horrendous circumstance, and the people around them who the story had made you kind of think one way or the other they're concerned or care about them, had a hand in their demise or like the circumstance going on with them. Like when we saw the flashback of like Armand freaking directing the play, and Lestat there, like, you don't know her power, like you don't realize her power and this and that. It's like they were all there practicing it. God, I haven't gone back to that episode in a while, but it's like Will is like, and the doctor, isn't it your job to save lives? Opportunity. Yeah, I knew Hannibal was saucing him up because it's like him telling him, oh, I see an opportunity or this. It's like he's almost enticing the doctor on the idea of like studying Will or using Will as his plaything. Like we've seen Hannibal kind of that interest of like Will and everybody being in his sandbox and him just playing with them for his own amusement or benefit or stuff like that. Look at him enticing the doctor that, oh, we could break boundaries with this or da da da. It's like, dog. And the doctor fell through with it. Ah, Will, they played you, Will. They played you. And now Will will have no grasp on his own psyche because he don't have any like proper working theory to go off. Like, and that might even damage his psyche even more, thinking, because yeah, if they told him this was like physical, yes, he has something to blame, something to like focus on, but like now he'll still think his brain is all because his mind, sorry, yes, his brain is. Oh, long episode today, guys. This is pissing me off.
Into his classroom that you were putting Will in a potentially destructive environment.
Of course.
Well, I'd rather he go a little mad than other innocents lose their lives, and I think he would feel the same way. Anything I can put him through, he will always fight his way back to himself.
You're too confident about that. Too confident.
They found nothing wrong with him. He was very upset by that. I think he wanted an answer that wasn't mental illness. In those places, he doesn't just reflect. He absorbs.
He becomes. Man, Hannibal, he just went down on my likable list, but I'm sure the show intended for that as well, but God. And please, no one come for me. This is just my initial thoughts. And I'm just going off my instincts. So if you see it a different way, respectfully, let me know. But Will, what are you doing here, man?
Delaware. My name is Will Graham.
What the actual f was that? Or is she wearing flesh? It's 1 a.m.
Police
Called you because
What did you do with it?
He blacked out. He don't know.
she was deranged.
Like a zombie, honestly.
She come back.
What?
Convinced herself she didn't.
Kind of like you.
You're the subject of a lot of speculation at the Bureau.
I bet.
Can't accept her reality. I can occasionally identify with that.
I say it over and over again, but the way the show like perfectly is in sync with like the way the show use all the killers and all the suspects to perfectly mirror or like be parallel to what our main characters are going through, or the overarching themes, is freaking beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. Because usually when I watch shows that kind of like deal with things one after the other, a lot of times it's just more of the characters or the protagonists like just learning more about themselves, you know, typical hero's journey type shit. But it's like with this, like so much is put into the suspects or the killers in such a little time that they also in their own ways like stand on their own to mirror Will or Hannibal, or like, you know, because like at different parts of the story, if our POV is from the killer, it's almost like they're interchangeable. I hope I elaborated that properly. Man, Will.
I feel like I'm seeing a ghost.
The same.
You lost time again?
Yeah. About 3 to 4 hours.
Perhaps you would permit me to run some tests of my own.
Snake.
You wouldn't publish anything about me, would you, Dr. Le? do me a favor and publish it posthumously. Whichever comes first.
Will is on it. Well, some of it.
He or she is dead.
You talking about the killer or me?
Right?
Brain which recognize faces, and also in the amygdala, which...
She reached out to someone she loved, someone she trusted.
Her friend?
She can't trust anything or anyone she once knew to be trustworthy.
Wow.
A mental illness won't let him.
Every dialogue, man. Every single dialogue means something, or 3 different things. What the f, man? Where are my cats? Y'all should be close to me right now, because this is...
How well did she know Beth LeBeau?
They were best friends. They went to school together.
Friends.
When she was 9, and she told me that she was thinking about killing me.
Damn.
She had seizures, hallucinations, psychotic depression.
Will Graham?
She spent months at a time in the hospital. Blood test.
Mm.
They would just say it was this or it was that. They're just always guessing.
Mm.
How little is actually known about mental illness.
Mm.
It's just more about managing expectations.
This is peak. This is peak. And is it kind of sad to say that every single word she's saying about her daughter, I kind of feel guilty for not even focusing on the daughter at all, because like everything is almost matching up with Will. And even Jack notices it just looking at Will all concerned. Yeah, I kind of feel a little guilty for not even like thinking of the daughter during that whole speech and just thinking of Will and how it fits in with him so much. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Managing your expectations.
Had to come back here to this office to pack up.
Talk about it.
That lack of leadership on my part, that was my responsibility.
Mm.
I pulled her out of a classroom, like I pulled you out of a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
For her.
I'll take my own responsibility.
Well, not for me, you won't.
Mm.
I broke the rules.
Yes.
That this is bad for you.
Do you want me to...
You're putting that on Will? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time Will told you he didn't want to do this, you essentially shamed him into not quitting, right? That was after the angel maker, after they found the angel maker at the barn. And Will told him how it's getting harder for him to see, to look. And the way Jack responded to him, it's indirectly just shamed him, kind of like, quit if you want, like be a about it and quit if you want, you know? It's like, yeah, he didn't strong arm you to not quit, but like the way he made it sound and like put the guilt on all the innocents that might be killed. Yeah, that kind of manipulates Will a little bit to want to stay. So what do you mean you and I both know you shouldn't be doing this? He's been telling you that. Same episode with the angel maker at the alley when they found the person strung up, that like he went off at Jack. Jack also had his rebuttal there. So what do you mean putting this on Will's head as if he's... Which is interesting because he did say he's taking responsibility and now I'm pushing it on Will. Like, did I read that wrong? Like, that don't seem right to me.
Sand.
I'm not sand. I am bedrock.
Okay.
More expensive and difficult they are to obtain, the better.
Is it simply a matter of reputation preceding product?
Superior, then belief determines value.
Interesting.
Are you referring to Will Graham?
We know you're fond of the rarefied.
True.
Beautiful. Pure empathy.
So you set his mind on fire.
Yes.
So, how far does this go?
Till he explodes.
We will put out the fire when it's necessary. Now that we have confirmed what it is, it'll be easier to hide from him.
Jesus Christ. Your friend. Is he gonna break or is he gonna go with Hannibal's plan? They didn't even do anything because their thing stopped quickly. Is he hallucinating again? Wow. What are they doing? Are they setting up Will? Is Hannibal setting up Will?
Sort of diseased or damaged tissues that we found at Beth LeBeau's house.
The girl?
With the other victim.
Will?
Just me.
Exactly.
And while you're ticking away in the MRI, she does this to your doctor.
What the hell?
Tell her. The night I saw her, I tried to tell her she was alive. Maybe she heard me.
I think the reason why I'm feeling this overwhelming sense of dread, I think is the betrayal. And I know I related this to Interview with the Vampire earlier. I think is the betrayal because of like how we have a character who is clearly suffering and the people around you who are supposed to give a damn are the ones like freaking strangling the life out of you. I think it's that betrayal that is just both from the doctor, in some ways from Jack. Yeah, it just puts me in this mood, and I think it's because it's portrayed so eloquently and so believable, and the acting is so well. It's like, god damn, like that betrayal is just so heartbreaking. And it's like Hannibal saying it with his whole chest, like he's my friend. Like, will you let him burn or put the fire out? He'll say, like, we'll put the fire out when it's necessary. This man's brain is half fried. When would it be necessary? If she's under your bed, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Thank God he got dogs. Shorty is under the bed, isn't she?
It's midnight. You're in Wolf Trap, Virginia.
He's grounding her.
We are here together.
My life.
Wow. And this is the heartbreaking part. Will just genuinely wants to do good. And he's like one of the biggest victims here. Oh, they cleaned her up.
She's being treated like a burn victim.
Wow.
In extreme cases like this one, electroconvulsive therapy. He's still desperate for an explanation that can make everything right again.
Which you have. God. This it was him. He couldn't see her face. She couldn't see his face. It's so spine chilling anytime we get to see Hannibal in action. She remembers. So did he kill the doctor because the doctor, well, I just answered my question in my mind. The doctor knew too much. Either that or because the doctor stood up to Hannibal, even just by asking that question, like, what do you want with Will? And you put out the fire or keep him burning. Does that mean that Hannibal is the one that killed the first girl as well? No, it was... What's up, Gus? God, this episode was... yeah, you guys have heard all my thoughts. It was... Yeah, this episode was painful to watch. What's up? Not the mic, not the mic, not the mic, sir. Not the flipping mic. This episode was painful to watch, man, just cause This episode was painful to watch just because, like, everything I explained with Will, like us knowing how much he cares, but at the same time, how much his well-being is being, like, neglected and he's actively being put in the fire. Again, that betrayal that I mentioned, but God. And that last scene just gives me the feeling that Jack is onto something with Hannibal. Because, like, the way Jack was like, something ain't right after the whole scene of Hannibal being attacked in his office. I feel like Jack saying things about, like, you know, Jack asked him, are you not mourning your friend? Or like, aren't you worried about your friend? And Jack right after saying, like, I hope she remembers something. It's like, Jack he's on to you, Hanny. Yeah, this episode, like, it really, yeah, just that whole flip-flop that I'm talking about of, like, 1 second thinking like Hannibal is being, like, genuine in his care. But in a sense, to him, he is being, like, genuine and, like, friendly to Will. But it's like, with all you're doing to Will, there's no way you really care about him the same way most of us would say we care about someone. God, man, I'm so glad. I'm gonna go get some Nigerian food and head over to my friend's house, and we're just gonna chill and watch anime and have a good time. Cause this episode, man, yeah, there was some moments in this episode I felt like crying, honestly, because, like, and that last scene of Will just, like, that scene of Will just reaching out to her, like, grounding her, telling her that she's alive, he's there with her. It's like, come on, man, this dude just wants to do good. But no, man, the comparisons with Interview with the Vampire will never end. You know, characters that just want to be left alone and just live their life are often the one that are pulled into the shit. Enjoy your weekend. I love you guys. Thanks for always accommodating me and my theories and my talk, and also, like, contributing yours in the comments. Like I said in my post recently, doing this and chatting with you guys, picking your brains, are like some of my favorite parts of the day. So let's continue to keep that community up. Thank you. Take care.